Okay, so there's been some questions when it comes to ancestry and direct and common ancestry between two animals. I know that it's kind of confusing because if you're considering two animals, how can one of them be a common ancestor? So for example, in number 1, when we talk about Catano and his son, Catano 732. So when we're discussing those two as a relationship, we know that there are some common ancestors there, right? So first of all, one of their common ancestors is going to be L and also W. But what's really important to remember is that C is also considered a common ancestor. And it sounds kind of weird because you're like, how is it a common ancestor between A and C? Well, C is the sire to A. So when we're considering that relationship right there, we have to make sure that we consider and we put C into the game because most of the genetic material, right, there's a lot of transfer there from C to A because C is the sire. And so it's important that C is included as a common ancestor, in this case a direct ancestor, but it has to be included whenever you're calculating the covariance of C and A. For the second one, we're discussing Lady Celia. So E, give me a sec. So E and G. So in this case, right, a little different. We're not actually talking about any kind of, there's no direct relationship here. So it's just going to be common ancestry, right? And so you can go from there, but just make sure you get that. So, and then if we go to the bottom on 3 and 4, we're talking about D. So Adana and her sire, Pepe. So, and then whenever I put in, her sire, his dam or something, that's kind of an indication that there's going to be a direct relationship. So for number 3, when we're considering this relationship, P is a sire to D, so we have to put P in as an ancestor there. So in addition to the other common ancestors like C, okay, things like that. So O as well. And then, yeah, P, C, and O are going to be the common ancestor there. So it's just really important that we make sure to account for that direct ancestry relationship because as you're calculating, you're seeing how many percentage. So if you think about the contribution column, whenever you have a direct relationship, right, you're having one arrow, so it's going to be half. So that's quite a bit of contribution. And so without that, you're not really getting the, actual relationship between these two animals if you're not also considering the sire or the dam. So like in number 4, we have Pepe Boit and his dam. So we have to make sure that we consider A also as an ancestor there when we're calculating the covariance between the two. In addition, when we're talking about inbreeding coefficients, I just want to remind you that so like up here on number 1, if we were calculating the F of A, it's equal to half the covariance of his parents. So don't get too confused on this. I had a couple on the homework from the last, that just turned in. They got a little confused. So we're looking at half the covariance of A's parents. So for A, the parents are E and C, okay? So we're looking at their relationship, okay? So we're literally going to go in and figure out how E and C are related. So when I asked you what A's sire and dam share, we're looking at E and C and what are their common or direct ancestors. So in that case, E and C share L and also W, okay? So that's just really important that you guys remember that for the inbreeding coefficient, you're looking at the relationship between that animal's parents and not any kind of more, there's some confusion on like what ancestors and things like that. Just make sure that we're looking at the covariance between those two animals. I think that's all the confusion I really saw on there. And so hopefully that straightens out a few things for you guys.